But riddle me this. When is a villain like a mathematician? Answer, when it multiplies!
From the TV trickster of the 60s to the recent cipher-obsessed hunter, every question mark reveals a different version of the Riddler. So let's dive into his evolution and find out about his on-screen storylines. You know how the Riddler leaves clues for Batman scattered across Gotham? Well, if he needed a way to organize and research all those puzzles, he'd probably require an efficient browser like Opera, the sponsor of this video. Opera offers a range of features you don't normally see in a browser. My favorite has got to be the Tab Islands, which lets me finally organize the mess of having 20 plus tabs open, as it just gets confusing. Now I can group tabs into categories like work, video ideas, and entertainment, then expand and collapse each group whenever I need. And on top of that, there's tab traces, a feature that helps me instantly find the tab I used last. The darker the underscore, the more recently I visited it. Opera also includes a sidebar for quick access to social media and music players. And the best part is the floating music player. I can control players like Spotify while doing research and move it anywhere inside or outside my browser without disrupting my workflow. And finally, there's Opera's upgraded Opera AI, which could definitely help solve riddles faster, but more importantly, you don't even need an Opera account to use it. Plus, it works within the context of whatever page you're on, so you don't have to waste time sharing links, web pages. You simply just ask Opera AI, and it does it pretty much instantly. For me, the most useful tool is the video summary feature, perfect for locating specific information in my older videos, and even translating videos that aren't in English. It makes research very convenient. So if you're like me or like the Riddler and need an upgrade, make that change. Click the link in the description and download Opera for free today. How did the 60s puzzle prankster in a lime green suit set the DNA for every screen Riddler after him? By turning puzzles into performance. In Batman, the movie, he doesn't just leave riddles, he stacks them as a sequence so the dynamic duo has to stay on his tempo. He joins three of the other most powerful villains, Joker, Penguin, and Catwoman, to create the united underworld aimed at killing Batman.
Time is getting short. We've got to get Batman before he gets us.
Riddler has intentionally left breadcrumbs as their plan expands deeper, with kidnapping Bruce Wayne to lure Batman and dehydrating the United Nations Security Council for ransom. When all plans fail with Batman and Robin hot on their tail, they're inevitably confronted on their submarine, where a long brawl occurs with Batman and Robin, leading to their inevitable arrest. Decades later, Return of the Caped Crusader scales up that energy. The heist at Gotham Palace with the three villains isn't just a robbery, it's a show with an audience tied up as props and a riddle left behind that telegraphs the real target, the duplicate array.
What is black and blue and red all over? Answer! You, if you don't hand over the ray!
They steal that ray like a puzzle gun, where Riddler shoots potholes into the streets to create a quick escape from the dynamic duo. The chase then jumps from a frozen foods factory to a stolen rocket and a space station, with plans to duplicate the Earth for each villain.
This will go down in history as the greatest caper in the universe!
Suspicion then falls on Catwoman because of her feelings for Batman, and they lock her in a launch room for disposal. Batman and Robin crash the party, anti-gravity turns into a fight, and the villains end up in custody. Sort of. The duplicate array twist flips the whole plot. Their arrest was just copies, allowing the real trio to pull escalating museum heists back in Gotham.
The first puzzle ever created, 4,000 years old and worth a king's ransom.
They slip away to Penguin's blimp, where the duo confronts them, and Riddler falls into a pink dress, landing atop a police car. By Batman vs. Two-Face, he's pulled into a larger plot. Hugo Strange builds an evil extractor machine to pull out criminals' worst impulses, and Joker convinces the rogues, including Riddler, to overload it. That overload causes an explosion that inadvertently scars Harvey Dent, creating Two-Face. Years later, Riddler pops up at an auction for Batman's identity, only for Dent to use the same device again, extracting evil from the villains. Riddler and the villains end up battling the duo and Catwoman, while Two-Face escapes to transform Gotham into his own image. Then came Batman Forever, which put him front and center. Edward Nygma starts as the guy in the lab no one listens to. He's a researcher at Wayne Enterprises, brilliant, and hungry for validation from his idol Bruce Wayne, like an obsessed fan.
We've never actually met, but your name was on the hiring slip. I have it.
He builds a prototype that beams TV directly into the brain, but his boss shuts it down. When Bruce visits the lab, Nygma goes for an instant approval. Bruce insists on a formal review, though that feels like a public rejection, so Nygma takes it personally. He keeps working in secret, and when his boss catches him, Nygma straps him into the machine.
Nygma, you touched that switch and...
Which one, this?
That's when he learns the device also pulls information back so he can drain knowledge and get smarter. His boss threatens to report it, so Nygma pushes him out a window and edits the security footage to read as suicide. He starts delivering little puzzles to Bruce the next day, turning the obsession into a persona. Two-Face's violent appearance at the circus gives him an idea. The green suit, the cane, the swagger, and the Riddler is born. He refines his invention into the box, a consumer gadget that promises better TV, but he actually steals their thoughts. He teams up with Two-Face to scale it and launches Nygma Tech, becoming a tech celebrity.
Nygma Tech brings the joy of 3D entertainment into your living room!
Gotham lines up to plug in, and the power feeds Nygma and his partner. Smarter by the hour, they build a fortress on Claw Island with a towering brainwave antenna and maze-like defenses. At the big launch, when Bruce tests the box, Nygma rides the neural wave and discovers the truth: Bruce Wayne is Batman. That secret fuels his next move. On Halloween, Riddler and Two-Face storm Wayne Manor, wreck the Batcave, kidnap Dr. Chase Meridian, and drop more riddles for sport. Bruce and Alfred solve the chain that spells out Mr. E, then Enigma,
Mr. E.
Mystery.
And another name for Mr. E.
Enigma.
Mr. E. Nygma.
and realize that Nygma is behind her disappearance. The final act then turns into a rescue. Batman dons the sonar suit and navigates the Batplane, while Robin pilots the Batboat, and they head for Claw Island. As Riddler and Two-Face play Battleship with their lives, the Batwing goes down, the Batboat sinks, and Robin gets captured. In a gleaming white suit, Riddler gives Batman a choice: save Chase or save Robin.
I have a riddle for you.
Really?
Tell me.
Batman answers with his own riddle and shatters the antenna with a batarang, somehow destroying everything. As the feedback fries Nygma's mind and he drops Chase and Robin, Batman saves them both. Two-Face falls in the fight, and Nygma, now broken and scarred by his machine, ends up in Arkham. He's barely on screen here, but he still leaves a mark, a question mark. In Batman Under the Red Hood, after Batman discovers that his former protege, Jason, has returned from the dead with a vengeance, Batman reminisces about the past. Riddler then shows up in a flashback at the Gotham Art Museum, leading a heist. When the dynamic duo appear, he and his crew get outflanked, so he makes a break for the stairs. Robin cuts him off and taunts him with the riddle before nailing him for the cops. A decade later, Batman Death in the Family pushes that thread of Jason's death at the hands of the Joker. It's an interactive story that branches into multiple choices, but only one leads to the Riddler. If you choose the path that Robin survived the explosion, Jason is sent on a brutal spiral. He breaks from Batman, takes on the Hush identity, and tries to wipe out crime by force. During a botched robbery, he decapitates Riddler in a way that actually creates a question mark, and that's it. No speech, no grand plan, just a cold end to a bad scheme. What happens when the Riddler is the mission target, not the mastermind? You get Assault on Arkham. He starts by taunting Amanda Waller through riddles, broadcasting just enough to intentionally get traced. Waller sends in a hit team, but before they can pull the trigger,
Riddle me this. Why didn't I quit when I was ahead?
Batman drops in and wipes the squad. He hauls Nygma in for an interrogation as Batman needs intel on Joker's new dirty bomb. Riddler gives him nothing because he knows nothing, so back to Arkham he goes. Waller is forced to pivot her strategy. She packs a new Suicide Squad with nanobombs in their necks, Deadshot, Harley, Boomerang, Black Spider, Killer Frost, and King Shark, and tells them that Riddler stole Black Ops files and has hidden them in Arkham. That's the cover. The real order is given only to Frost: kill the Riddler. Their entry blows up into guard lockdowns, but Frost slips to his cell.
I knew Waller would send someone. I'm too clever for her to let me live.
Nigma clocks her intent in a breath and flips the board with information. He knows how the bombs work. He can help, so she doesn't ice him. Now he reunites with the squad and drops a big reveal.
This better be good.
He knows how to turn off the bombs.
Look familiar?
He was once a member of Waller's Suicide Squad, which is how he learned to disarm the bombs. He leads them to the medical facility, wires electroshock therapy rigs into a DIY scrambler, and times the voltage to fry the detonators. It works, mostly. King Shark's thick skin insulates the charge. Waller pings the failure and detonates all the charges on the spot. Amid the scramble, Nigma clocks a tell no one else sees. Black Spider is too quiet, and most importantly, his head wasn't blown up.
Haven't you solved it yet? The Black Spider is Batman!
Riddler reaches for a gun, but is hit with the clean batarang and drops. The fake mask comes off. It's Batman. Then the Joker arrives, and hell breaks loose, throwing Arkham open while he escapes with his bomb. As the asylum turns into a maze of smoke, alarms, and a riot, Nigma slips out and vanishes. The Lego Batman movie fires villains like a confetti cannon, so each one needs a quick, clear read, like Riddler, who only makes a couple of cameos. He shows up with Joker's mob at the Gotham City power plant. The gag is blunt and funny. He pulls off a worker's arm to swipe access and clear the squad into the core. Batman arrives, turns the entire lineup into a domino run, and the crew scatters. Riddler slips out with the rest in fear. At Commissioner Gordon's retirement party, he's back in Joker's entourage, but then Joker flips on his plan, boxing all the supervillains as a gift.
Because we're all surrendering. Right, guys? We are?
When Joker is sent to the Phantom Zone and returns with the world's worst villains, Gotham City turns into a crossover riot. Wanting revenge on Joker for betraying them,
I need to break my friends out of a giant, scary prison. Hey guys, he means us! And I ain't talking about those rogue losers.
Riddler and Arkham villains escape, summoned by Batman to work together and help save Gotham. When all is returned to normal, Batman's payoff is simple: a quick truce to protect the city, but then only a 30-minute head start and a grin that says the game will resume. Scooby-Doo lives on solvable mysteries, and Batman's rogues thrive on flair, so this crossover treats Riddler like a test of both worlds. It starts at Gotham City Bank. Riddler rolls in with henchmen, Catwoman, and Killer Croc, expecting an easy haul. Batman arrives with Aquaman and the Question, turning it into a 3-on-3 mess of gadgets and quips. During the brawl, Catwoman strikes the Question aside, and Riddler snaps up the opening. The next beat is subtle, letting everyone assume the detective recovered. It works long enough to send a Riddler to Arkham.
We've danced this dance before, Riddler. It always ends with you licking your wounds in a padded cell at Arkham Asylum.
Batman teams up with Mystery Inc. to catch a new villain, the Crimson Cloak, and reveals that his early unsolved case is tied to him because of a lab disaster.
I finally pulled both of them free, or so I thought. I'd saved Dr. Magny, but Leo Scarlet.
They realize that the likely suspect is the one henchman who survived, Dr. Wade Magny, or rearranged as Edward Nigma. The clues point to the Riddler, so they visit him in Arkham for answers.
Crimson Cloak, what is he?
Perhaps he's fate. You failed to save Leo's life, now he's come for yours.
That later sends the gang into a chase with Harvey Bullock and the Mystery Analyst, a detective club that thinks Mystery Incorporated is behind recent thefts. The crew dodges a pileup and retreats to the Batcave. The later reveal lands fast. Crimson Cloak, the Red Spectre haunting the case, turns out to be Clayface, who was promised a cure in exchange for helping the Riddler. Batman then makes another unmasking thanks to Aquaman.
I believe you kids are owed a true unmasking.
The Riddler?
The question, who kept disappearing, is the Riddler in disguise, while the Riddler in Arkham was a Clayface decoy. Riddler used the shapeshifter to plant evidence, frame Mystery Incorporated, and keep everyone busy while he hunted bigger tech. With the mask off, he bolts to the old lab and brings the old teleporter back online, not to steal it, but to weaponize a growing vortex to destroy City Hall. The real question clocks him before he can fine-tune it, collapsing his plan. But the machine keeps eating power. The vortex swells, and a figure forms inside the portal, so Mystery Incorporated and the heroes reverse the polarity to stabilize the field. Batman and Scooby end up pulling Leo Scarlet out alive and reunite him with his father. Then came a movie that shifted Riddler from a loud showman to a careful planner. Batman Hush plays like a detective story where he studies weak spots and turns them into leverage. It opens with Lady Shiva warning Batman about a Lazarus Pit break-in, and a rooftop chase that ends with a figure shooting Batman's line. Hush steps out of the shadows, and from that moment, every set piece is bait. Riddler's first on-screen move looks simple. He's robbing a bank, gets caught, and lands in Arkham.
Hush put you up to this.
Can you rephrase that in the form of a riddle?
There was no riddle.
But that arrest is part of a larger chain. Batman follows the threads and sees a pattern that links robberies, kidnappings, and ambushes. The person behind it, Hush, knows his secret identity. After further investigation, Batman heads straight to Arkham for answers. In the cell, Riddler drops the act and lays out his plan. He says he had brain cancer and worked under the alias Arthur Wynn.
I saw the name Arthur Wynn in Thomas Elliott's files. Okay, I'll bite. Who's Arthur Wynn?
Inventor of the crossword puzzle?
He went to Thomas Elliott, Bruce's friend and a top neurosurgeon, but the surgery failed and left him bitter. Desperate, he bribed for access to a Lazarus Pit. The liquid burned the tumor away, sharpened his body, and with his mind enhanced, he connected the dots to his biggest question: who is the Batman? He reasoned out that Batman is Bruce Wayne. Armed with that secret, a quick flash gave him inspiration to tear him down, while getting revenge on villains who laughed at him. So he built a new persona and became Hush. He set up schemes through Gotham's rogues, Catwoman under Ivy's spell, Bane moving stolen money, Harley and Joker used as noise, and Scarecrow pushing fear.
You see, Batman, this is my game, and everyone follows my rules. Even you.
A control Clayface also stood in for him when he needed to be two people at once, just like the last film. The final move happens in an abandoned factory. He kidnaps Catwoman and lures Batman into a trap, fighting with the question mark-shaped staff that has a sharp edge. He presses the advantage, but Batman hits back with words that sting.
What do you think of me now?
That you're the same insecure C-lister you were before you went into the Lazarus Pit.
Catwoman breaks free, joins the fight, and the tides turn. Riddler stumbles into molten metal, but Batman catches him while the factory explodes. She cuts the rope to sacrifice Riddler and save them. But despite his demise, his end leaves a scar. The threat is gone, but the trust between Batman and Catwoman cracks as he believes he should have saved him. Direct-to-video means Lego Batman Family Matters has fast pacing and bright visuals. The Riddler barely shows up, but he still fits the tone. The setup starts with letters signed RH, assembling the Bat family into meeting Red Hood, and entering his citywide challenge of disarming bombs. They split up to find bombs before Gotham goes boom. Robin joins Nightwing to a railway yard, and runs into Riddler and Penguin working for Red Hood.
Riddle me this. What do you call a bird in winter?
A bird.
They're an underrated combo for chaos. Riddler tosses quips, while Penguin floods the tracks with his mechanical and armed penguins. The pair slips off in a vehicle carrying the bomb, aiming to cash in on the distraction. Robin chases recklessly and ultimately crashes, before assembling a helicopter while they gloat and cutting them off. Their victory lap ends fast when he forces a crash, as the bomb falls to them and the timer hits 0. The blast showers confetti, not shrapnel, turning the scare into a gag. Even so, Robin arrests them, and Riddler and Penguin head to Blackgate. Injustice then flips the script. For those unfamiliar with this alternate reality, Joker tricks Superman into killing Lois Lane, his unborn child, and destroying Metropolis. Superman stops playing the hero under limits as the moral lines blur fast. He builds a regime where laws bend to his will. Some heroes fall in, while others push back. Early on, Superman orders Arkham's inmates move to a tighter black site that's escape-proof. Riddler lands on the transfer list, another piece in a larger sweep. Batman triggers a hidden virus, cutting the system mid-operation and freezing the transfer. Then Harley Quinn's voice blasts on the PA. She pops every lock, cells swing open, and chaos floods the halls. Riddler grabs a hammer and attempts to attack Robin. He sees the look in Robin's eyes and bolts away. Robin charges at him anyway. Nightwing tries to stop him, but Robin lashes out, and the scuffle ends with Nightwing on the ground, dead by accident. Superman steps in and reasserts control in the only way he knows. He commands compliance, and the inmates fold. Matt Reeves' Gotham strips away the showman in the Batman. He opens on Halloween, killing the mayor inside his home and leaving a card that speaks straight to Batman. A cipher drags Batman to the Iceberg Lounge and the orbit of Penguin. Riddler escalates by kidnapping Commissioner Pete Savage and rigging a rat maze torture that he records.
Hello, people of Gotham. This is the Riddler speaking.
He wants corrupt officials cornered in public. So Riddler snatches District Attorney Gil Colson, straps on a bomb collar, and turns Mistral's funeral into a live test. 3 riddles, 3 chances, where the last answer requires naming a secret informant.
Which vermin you're paid to protect?
The rat. The informant you all protect from the Salvatore Maroni case.
But when Coulson stays silent, the collar detonates. Batman reads El Rata La Lata and chases the wrong lead, assuming Penguin is the rat.
It's La Rata. What is this, Riddler, stupid or something? You think he made a mistake? He hasn't made mistakes.
That miss makes Riddler want Batman to further understand. The path turns toward the abandoned Gotham orphanage, where old campaign tapes lay out why Riddler hates the city's elite. Renewal funds never reached orphan kids like himself. Instead, mob money mixed with corrupt politics. He mails a bomb to Wayne Manor, specifically for Bruce. Alfred instead opens it and takes the blast. Alongside that hit, Riddler posts files about the Waynes' history with Falcone and Martha Wayne's treatment, forcing Bruce to confront the family name.
Gotham needs you to answer for the sins of your father.
Batman eventually drags Falcone into the open, the true El Rata Alada, and a rifle shot answers the riddle about bringing the rat into the light. Riddler claims a kill with a sniper from an apartment across the street.
He's been here this whole time.
That single bullet steals the revenge Selina and Penguin wanted for themselves, as he decides when debts are paid. He doesn't run though. He waits in a diner, hands raised, and is fiercely taken to Arkham. The police investigate his room, and Batman realizes that his plan has been in development for a long time. In the Arkham interview room, Riddler speaks like a partner proud of a shared victory with Batman, claiming their goals are the same. Batman denies the bond, and Riddler fractures into song.
You're a pathetic psychopath. You're gonna die alone in Arkham. A nobody!
Because Batman's validation mattered as much as the mission. But there's one more clue that Batman hasn't discovered until it's too late. Car bombs around the seawall blow up the barrier. Water pours in, flooding Gotham, and Riddler's masked followers gather at the arena to finish his plan of killing the new mayor, ending Gotham's corruption cycle.
She promised real change. But we know the truth, don't we?
Batman, Selina, and Gordon cut that surge down, and the new mayor survives. In the cell, the failure hits him hard. but a voice next door comforts him and reassures him of a comeback. The two trade a riddle.
The less of them you have, the more one is worth. A friend.
And share laughs that sound like a promise. Across 5 decades, one thread stays constant. Every Riddler turns a question into power. The 60s prankster weaponized showmanship. The neon tycoon sold curiosity as a product. Animation recast him as a tool, a target, and a mastermind. And the 2022 strategist used data and shame as blunt instruments. Different tones, but still the same drive of forcing Gotham into a question. So what's your favorite adaptation of the Riddler? Let me know in the comments. And if you love these evolutions, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks again to my patrons, and I'll catch you in the next one.